So in this video, we're going to talk about how to open what's called a non-native file directly into Excel. So how are we going to get a CSV file or some other type of file into Excel? So right now, I'm going to go to my blank workbook. So all I've done is opened Excel, and I've opened a blank workbook. And I'm going to create or make A1, cell A1 active. And I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. And so to get our data from another file into here, we're going to go to Data on our Data tab on our ribbon. And we want to click From Text. We're going to go find our files for our lesson. And the one I'm looking for, if you see down here it says Text Files. And it's going to be 09 NAEST 2012-01. And that's what we want. Click Import. And so now we get to look at our import wizard. So it's a little thing that's it's just step by step. Tells us all about importing our information. So if you're following in the step by steps in our lesson, you'll see what I'm doing. But we're gonna keep it as delimited. So it says characters such as comma or tab separate each field. And that's what we have. And we're going to put a check mark in My Data Has Headers, because we want to tell it to use the first row of data as headers in our document or in our spreadsheet. We're going to start our import. If we notice here, we look down here in our preview section, we can actually scroll through here and see all the data that we're going to import. The first two rows don't really mean anything. It's really kind of directions or something else. Our headers start on row 3. So I'm going to change Start Import at Row to 3. I'm going to click Next. Now we're on step 2 of 3. So now if I look at my data here in the preview, we can tell that it's separated by commas. So it says April 1st, comma, and there's a bunch of data about that. And then there's a comma, and then some more data points, comma, data points. So we're going to change this from tab to comma, and then it'll start forming our columns for us. And then our text qualifier, we need quotation marks because, let me show you. We have quotation marks around our data. So if we do that, text qualifier quotations, and now we can click Next. And now our step 3, we get to assign data formats before we get into Excel, for each column. So we have dates over here. So right now, it's considered this as general data format. And we want to change this. We know it's dates. So we're going to click the date one. We're going to leave it month, day, year. We click over here to our second column. We're going to leave that as general. And it kind of tells you what they are all the way down. We're just going to leave the rest of them just like they are. We're going to click Finish. And then it's going to ask us, where do we want to put it? Since we have nothing in our Excel spreadsheet yet, we want to place it into cell A1. So where do you want to put the data? In our existing worksheet. And we're using an absolute reference in here, equals $A, $1. Click OK. And there's our information. The instructions in our textbook want us to make column 1 or column A a little bit more narrow, and wants us to make it 16 with 16. So I'm trying to get it right on 16. There we go. And if you notice, row 2, 12, and 25, all they have in there is a date. So we're going to get rid of those. So we're going to use our control key to select more than one non-contiguous rows that are so they're not connected. All we got to do is go up to our Home tab, delete sheet rows, and voila, they're all gone. Now we want to change our dates here a little bit. They're a little bit off. I'm not sure why. So we're going to go to A2. We're going to type in there April 2010, because it's supposed to be the month and the year. April 2010. Hit enter. We're going to go back to it. We're going to pull it down, and it's going to fix all the rest of these. Pull it down to row 34. So now we have all of this. And we're going to actually delete rows 35 through 40. So select 35 through 40. Delete sheet rows. And there you go. And now save your workbook. And that's all there is to it. I mean, it's a little bit complicated, but it kind of guides you through. As long as you make the correct selections and the right choices, then it will bring it in correctly.